I'm Craig Martin, Chairman of Dynam Capital, and welcome to our October Fund Report for Vietnam Holding. The emergence of a new frontier. Vietnam is poised to become the biggest constituent in the MSCI Frontier Market Index, following Kuwait's recent reclassification as an emerging market. This means that Vietnam could make up as much as 30% of this benchmark index by the end of 2021, and potentially attract several $100 million more from foreign equity investors. Vietnam's emerging economy is unique, not only given its remarkable growth over the past 3 decades, and since launching its stock market only 20 years ago, but also because it is one of the few countries in the world that will end 2020 with positive GDP growth. Containing the pandemic well has certainly helped Vietnam's economy bounce back in the second half of this year, with ever-increasing improvement in domestic demand and manufacturing activities. The government's aim for increased public investment in infrastructure has also played an important role in building a sustainable recovery since lockdown earlier in the year. Foreign direct investment remained strong in October, and the country saw further export growth, up 10.2% for the month, as well as a record year-to-date trade surplus of close to $19 billion. Corporate Q3 results released throughout the month proved promising across most sectors, apart from the harder hit areas such as aviation and tourism, though both of these are in better shape than some other tourist destinations around the world, thanks to buoyant demand in domestic travel. Retail sales also made notable 2.4% month-on-month and 6.1% year-on-year increases in October. The fund outperformed the Vietnam All-Share Index with a 3% increase in net asset value, largely due to our overweight holding selective companies across the industrial, retail, banking, and telecommunications sectors. The most significant contributor was steel producer Hoa Phat Group, up 15.8% on its exceptional Q3 earnings, and net profit after tax year-on-year increase of more than 110%, stemming from stellar sales growth. In retail, we benefited from our overweight holdings in Mobile World Group and Phu Nguyen Jewelry, which are up 1.8% and 14.2% respectively for the month. Our increased holdings in Vietinbank also paid off. The bank recorded a robust year-on-year rise in earnings of 22.6% for the first 9 months of 2020, placing it among a few banks with 2-digit net profit after tax growth. Not only is its stock price relatively cheap compared with its peers, the bank is also well positioned for further growth, given the government's amended law on the investment and management of state capital for joint stock enterprises. This amendment allows the largest banks in Vietnam to increase their charter capital and improve capital adequacy ratios, which gives room to further expand business activities. We have been increasing our holdings in the banking sector throughout the pandemic, given our attractive valuations and strong growth potential in what remains a relatively underbanked country. Vietnam's resiliency throughout the pandemic has helped raise its profile as a major trading partner in the world and an attractive manufacturing alternative to China. Vietnam is the chair of ASEAN this year and has recently attracted visits from the Prime Minister of Japan, the Foreign Secretary of the UK, as well as the US Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, who came 2 weeks before the presidential election in America. Trade relations are expected to gain further momentum, and we anticipate Vietnam's economy will return to an expansion rate above 6% next year, given the country's multiple engines of growth. In October, Vietnam Holding held its annual general meeting, where all resolutions were passed, including authority for a tender offer for 15% of the company's shares. The tender price was announced on 9th of November at $2, 58.57 per share. You can visit our website, www.vietnamholding.com, for more details on Vietnam Holding. On behalf of Dynam, I thank you for your attention and speak to you soon.